What's up, everybody? This is Chuff, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. How are you guys doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Alright, let's take a look around. Alright, so since my last video, I've been working on some kind of further refinements, trying to make the incline work a little bit better. And so these are some of the things I worked on. So one of the issues I was having is they kept coming off the track, and it was a pain to kind of get them to come back on. So I was over here, and I put this this little track piece in, and the idea was to be able to have it spin around, add it, put the car on the track, and then just kind of rotate it back and put it on the track. That didn't work. I also tried some other methods, and I just couldn't quite figure it out. It's probably something I'll have to look into in the future. But for this one, I kind of was playing with a larger base than I was on the previous one, and so yeah, so you'll notice I have a little switch, a little piece of wood comes up. And what that does is it actually allows the board to flex some. It's got set angles, so it only goes a certain distance. And that, you know, it worked pretty decently, but you know, ultimately it kind of just didn't work all that great. You can see that they came off the track, and it's just kind of an issue with this one. Kind of getting some bad frames right now, but yeah, that's kind of the deal with this one. You know, like I worked on adding like a support for it and everything, and it just didn't work out. And so on this one, I went with a single rail design. But actually, this used to be a double rail design, and I accidentally deleted one of the inclines. So there used to be, you know, another run right there, and I used to have that going up there. But since I accidentally deleted it, I decided to mess with the single rail one instead of fixing it. So let's see if we can fix some of the lag. Okay, yeah, that seems better. Must have been them sitting funny like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I experimented with the two thing, and I went with this one. So yeah, and so like this is the issue I was having with getting it on the track. So I could come over here, and I could kind of get it in place where it needs to be, even though that's not where it needs to be right there. But then I have to like build rail underneath it. I haven't figured out how to slide the rail through it yet. So yeah, so this design, I have a pivot point here in the middle, and then I have some dampening with these springs, as well as a controller. Kind of keeps it in line. I have two seats, one in the front, one in the back, so you can kind of go either way. This one works pretty good, but as you could see, it was on his side when I got it, so it's not perfect. So, you know, it did pretty good, but if you kind of go with any kind of force up on this angle, a lot of times it'll just kind of pop off the rail. So something I really recommend if you guys are going to be building something like this is to build a stairway. So like it makes a huge difference. And so like you can see over here, I built this big tall stairway, and that was kind of a pain. It took a while. I recommend actually probably just using something like these ramps. It took, a couple seconds to build, really not a big deal. Really convenient. I actually built this angle right here off one. I built it one block back from where it should be. So I had to tear it down, rebuild it, and because I had this up, it only took me like less than 5 minutes to do it, so it went really quickly. Yeah, really recommend doing it. And like this one, it's kind of like how they have them on roller coasters, so I think that's pretty cool. You can notice there is a gap, so the angles are different. You can set different angles for these. They do sit on a different angle, so I could have added like a steeper section. You can see like this one, so it's a lot steeper. You can still climb up it, and it would have put us closer to the thing. So I probably should have done that there. Like if I go any higher, that'd probably be a good idea. Alright, so right here I have my loading station because I couldn't figure out how to get something that's not attached to sit on there by itself, because you can't use the lift on it. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I have the seat under here, so let me get this into place. Just tap, tap, tap the roo. That's probably good. So let's come up here and hop on this rocket. This is a scaled down modeled version of sausages. All right, let's give this a shot, see what happens. Got the nice angle. That didn't work. I don't have any way of turning anything, so yeah, so let's just put that down here. Go for a ride. It does pretty good until you hit something funny. It just kind of sends you around and spin in circles. It's a little flawed, okay? I admit that. It's not the best. So let's head back. I'll kind of show you how this functions. So I kind of went with a similar design as the other ones. This one does have a pivot point as well, but it's locked by default. And I'll show you how that works. Well, let's go down. I'm using an electric engine this time. Like, it seems to stop stuff really quickly. So you can see, like, it comes down off that hill really smooth. And a lot of times it'll do that just fine coming down off the hill. But watch when we go forward here. A lot of times this happens. So I did decide to go with a shorter sport suspension instead of the longer off-road suspension that I was using. And so this is where the pivot comes into play. So I have it attached to a button, and I can just depress it. It just kind of angles it enough, and then pops right back into place, and I can go up the hill. So that seems to work out pretty good. I've added suspension on the top wheels, not like above them like I have them on the bottom wheels, but it is actually behind. And so I think that gives us some of the benefit of having the suspension without having to worry about it making the tires coming off the tracks. So it's not really what we want, but that seems to be working well. I've got some dampers up there that kind of help. It's functional. It works. It's kind of evidence that you can still do this incline and angle with a larger vehicle, but you definitely have to adapt the vehicle a bit. I would probably not do the this one as wide. You can see like it's got the one pivot point, and you can see what happens here when we pivot it is it comes apart on that one side, which is kind of weird. Like usually you only have to have it on for like a second as you're transitioning on the hill, so like it kind of works fine, but I think it's just a little bit wider than you kind of ideally want it to be. So yeah, that's about it. I appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you liked it, leave a like, and if you didn't, then too bad, like it anyway. But I will catch you guys next time. Feel free to leave any ideas or suggestions down below, and I will catch you next time. Bye.